As my wife stepped out of the shower, I asked, "How long has this been going on?" She froze. The steam hung in the bathroom like a held breath, and for a second neither of us moved. Water dripped from her hair onto the tile, steady and loud, like a clock announcing itself. Her eyes met mine in the mirror, already preparing an answer that wasn't the truth. "My name is Marcus. I'm 39, work long hours, pay my bills on time, and until that moment I believed my marriage to Evelyn was steady, if quiet. I wasn't looking for fireworks every day. I believed in routine, in showing up, in building something that lasted longer than passion. That's what I thought we were doing. I hadn't planned to confront her that night. The question slipped out because of a message I wasn't supposed to see. A name I didn't recognize lighting up her phone on the counter. I didn't read it. I just knew. Sometimes your body understands betrayal before your mind is willing to admit it. If this moment already feels familiar to you, like and share this story so it reaches the people who need to hear it. Because silence thrives when stories stay hidden. Evelyn wrapped a towel tighter around herself, not out of modesty, but control. "What are you talking about?" she asked, too quickly. Her voice had that edge I'd learned to fear, the one that meant I was about to be told I was imagining things again. For years, that was our pattern. I noticed distance. She explained it away. I believed her. We used to talk about everything. Somewhere along the way, conversations turned into updates, affection into obligation. I told myself this was normal. Marriages evolve. People get tired. Love matures. Those were the excuses I fed myself while she fed someone else attention and energy. "How long?" I asked again, quieter this time. Not angry. Tired. The kind of tired that settles in your bones when you've been carrying something alone for too long. She looked past me, toward the door, toward escape. That told me more than any confession could. If you've ever been there, wondering whether you're overreacting or finally seeing clearly, comment the word clarity below, because naming the moment matters. "It's not what you think," she said. That sentence always means exactly what you think. I nodded, not because I agreed, but because I was done interrupting her stories with hope. I realized how often I'd made myself smaller to keep the peace. I thought about the nights I waited up for her, the weekends I suggested trips she was too busy to take, the way she guarded her phone like it held her pulse. None of it seemed obvious then. In hindsight, it lined up perfectly. Patterns only look innocent while you're inside them. She finally spoke. Not with tears, not with remorse, but with relief. "A few months," she said. Months. Not a mistake. A decision. A parallel life she built while I maintained the one we were supposed to share. I felt something detach inside me. Not my heart, but my loyalty. I didn't yell. I didn't demand details. I just asked, "Why didn't you say something?" She shrugged, a small movement that carried a heavy message. She didn't want consequences. She wanted change without accountability. That's when I understood the real betrayal wasn't the affair. It was the assumption that I'd accept less and stay quiet. If you were in my place, would you have stayed calm? Or would you have exploded? Tell me in the comments and explain why, because imagined choices reveal who we become when pushed. I walked into the bedroom, sat on the edge of the bed we once shared, and felt an unexpected calm settle over me. Not peace. Clarity. The kind that hurts but doesn't confuse. I knew this wasn't a moment to fix things. It was a moment to decide what I would no longer tolerate. This story isn't just about betrayal. It's about erosion of self-respect. If you want more stories like this, subscribe and share if trust can return after silence. I didn't pack that night. I didn't storm out or sleep on the couch. I stayed right there in the house we built because leaving without understanding would have felt like running. Evelyn slept in the guest room. She didn't ask me to come with her. She didn't ask anything at all. That silence confirmed what her words already had. Whatever we had ended long before I asked that question in the bathroom. The next morning felt unreal. Coffee brewed, sunlight came through the kitchen window, and the world kept going like nothing had cracked open. Evelyn moved around the house carefully, like a guest overstaying her welcome. She avoided my eyes, spoke only when necessary. I realized how familiar that felt. This wasn't new. This was just honest now. I went to work and stared at my screen for hours, not reading a single word. My mind kept replaying moments I had dismissed. The late showers. The sudden interest in her appearance on days she said she was too tired for dinner with me. The way she flinched when I touched her, like affection had become an intrusion. I wasn't stupid. I was loyal. There's a difference, and I'd confused the two. That evening, I told her we needed to talk. She sat across from me at the dining table, hands folded, already defensive. I didn't ask for details about the other man. I didn't need them. I asked her one simple thing. When did you stop wanting this marriage? She hesitated, then said something worse than a date. I don't know. It just faded. That answer cut deeper than any confession. Fading means neglect. It means watching something die slowly and choosing not to intervene. I told her I wasn't interested in fighting for someone who'd already checked out. I wasn't angry. I was clear. For the first time in years, I felt taller in my own skin. We agreed on space. Not as a strategy, not as a test, but as an acknowledgement that whatever bond we had no longer existed in the same form. She packed a bag and left to stay with her sister. There were no tears, no promises to change. That absence of drama was its own truth. Love that wants to survive fights. Love that's done avoids them. The house felt empty, but not lonely. That surprised me. I slept deeply for the first time in months. When I woke up, there was no tightness in my chest, no quiet dread about saying the wrong thing, just stillness. I made breakfast and realized I hadn't felt peace like that in years. Friends asked what happened. I kept it simple. We grew apart. That was enough. I didn't need to poison the story with bitterness. This wasn't about punishment. It was about choosing myself after years of choosing silence. A week later, Evelyn asked if we could talk again. She said she was confused, that things had gotten out of hand. I listened, truly listened, but I didn't hear accountability. I heard discomfort. Losing stability hurts more than losing love for some people. I told her I wasn't interested in rebuilding something that required me to shrink to survive. She cried then, not because she missed me, but because consequences had arrived. I filed for separation the following month. The process was calm, almost clinical. Papers, signatures, schedules. People expect heartbreak to be loud. Sometimes it's quiet and final. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop explaining your worth to someone who benefits from misunderstanding it. Months passed. I found myself again in small ways. Long walks after work. Reconnecting with friends I'd drifted from. Cooking meals I liked without checking if anyone else approved. I didn't rush into anything new. Healing isn't about replacement. It's about restoration. One evening, I caught my reflection in the mirror and noticed something different. Not happiness. Strength. The kind that comes from knowing you honored yourself when it mattered. I thought back to that moment in the bathroom, the steam, the frozen silence. I was grateful I asked the question instead of swallowing it. Some relationships don't end with betrayal. They end with truth finally being spoken out loud. Mine ended the moment I realized love without respect is just endurance disguised as commitment. I don't regret staying as long as I did. I regret not trusting myself sooner. If there's one thing this experience taught me, it's this: clarity is painful, but living without it is worse. And once you see clearly, you don't owe anyone the comfort of your confusion.